Welcome back to the official channel of Hello everyone, welcome back to the official channel of Dr. Abdul Kalam Technical University. This is Dr. Anamika, Associate Professor, Galgodia College of Engineering and Technology. We are here to study electromagnetic field theory, and currently we are going through the topics of Unit 1. So quickly revise everything which we have learned in the previous classes. In the previous classes we have learned about vector analysis, and as we know that to represent any vector we need some kind of coordinate system. So coordinate systems are basically of three kinds, that is one dimensional, two dimensional and three dimensional. One dimensional 1D, 2D and 3D. 1D, one dimensional coordinate system is used to locate any point on a line. Two dimensional coordinate system is used to show the position of any point on a surface, and three dimensional coordinate system is used to identify the location of any point in three dimensional space. So here we are going to study about three dimensional coordinate system, and our syllabus is limited to only Cartesian, cylindrical and spherical coordinate. So we have studied all these things in previous classes. We have also studied about various kind of vector operators. There are mainly four kind of operators, that is addition, subtraction and multiplication and division also. Out of these four kind of operation, division can be possible only when two vectors are parallel. In all other cases it will be undefined. Today we are going to study about vector calculus. Vector calculus is same as we have studied in 11th, 12th. Only difference is that here we will apply all the concept of calculus on a vector. So basically vector calculus is divided into two parts, that is vector differentiation and vector integration. To perform the vector differentiation we need a special kind of operator which is known as del operator. This is the del operator. It is also known as Nobla operator and gradient operator. It is also known as vector differential operator. With the help of this Nobla operator we are going to derive for another kind of operator which reveals interesting property of other field. As for example, with the help of this gradient operator or Nobla operator we are going to define gradient of a scalar. This is nothing but the simple multiplication product of a scalar with del operator. Del operator is also used to scale or map a field from scalar to vector or vice versa. Further, divergence of a vector is nothing but the dot product of a vector field and Nobla operator or del operator. Curl is the cross product or vector product of Nobla operator and a vector field. Similarly, Laplacian of a scalar is nothing but the double differentiation of any field. Laplacian maps a scalar into scalar and a vector into a vector. However, curl maps a vector into vector, means it transforms a vector into a vector. Divergence transforms a vector into scalar. However, gradient maps a scalar into vector. One thing should be noted here, that this Nobla operator or gradient operator is not a vector itself, but when it applies on any kind of scalar it transforms that scalar into vector quantity. Further, based on the divergence theorem, divergence of a vector, we are going to derive one theorem that is known as divergence theorem, and also sometimes known as Gauss divergence theorem. Further, based on the curl of a vector, another theorems are derived that is known as Stokes theorem. So this is all about the vector differentiation. Similarly, we will integrate the vector also, and we can integrate vector in three ways, that is line integral, surface integral, and volume integral. We will see each one of them one by one later. So let's have a look on gradient of a scalar function. Gradient of a scalar function is a vector quantity. However, scalar function don't have any direction, but when we take the gradient of that scalar, then it will give a direction. As for example, temperature at a point don't have any direction, but change in temperature with respect to distance or space rate of change of temperature will have some kind of direction. As for example, if a fireball will be kept here, then temperature at this point will be high, but as we go out away from that point, the temperature will decrease. So this decrease in temperature is nothing but the gradient of temperature. So the gradient of temperature is having direction like outward from this particular point. So I mean to say that gradient is such kind of operator which transform a scalar into vector quantity. Now, as we know that we are having three kind of coordinate system, so we need to define gradient in three different coordinate system. Suppose if V is a scalar quantity in dimension x, y, z dimension, and it is also differentiable, then we can define the gradient of V as dV by dx ax, dV by dy ay, dV by dz az. Here one thing should be noted, ax represent the direction, however dV by dy, dV by dx and dV by dz represents the magnitude of gradient. Similarly, for cylindrical coordinate also we can define gradient as dV by d rho, because anything, any field or any point, any vector in a cylindrical coordinate can be defined with the help of three parameters, that is a rho, phi, z, where rho is nothing but the radius and phi is the azimuthal angle and z is the height of cylinder. Similarly, for spherical coordinate, the gradient of vector V can be defined as dV by dr ar, 1 by r dV by d theta a theta, 1 by r sin theta dV by d phi a phi. Because anything, any point or any vector can be defined in spherical coordinate with the help of r, theta and phi, where r is the radius of sphere, theta is the polar angle and phi is the azimuthal angle. So this is all about gradient. One thing should be noted here that V is a scalar quantity, however gradient of V, that is a del V, is vector function. Further, some other properties of gradient are that gradient of two scalar will be, if the there is two scalar A and B, and the gradient of this summation will be equal to the gradient of A plus minus gradient of B. Similarly, if two scalars are there, that is A and B, then the gradient of product of these two scalar quantity will be equal to the A multiplied by gradient of other vector plus first vector multiplied by the gradient of second vector multiplied by the gradient of first vector. These are the known as identity or properties of gradient. Similarly, now we will see the divergence of vector. Divergence is nothing but the total outward flux per unit volume. It just shows the spread of any vector field. Basically, all these operators, that is gradient, divergence, curl and Laplacian, reveals the interesting properties of different kind of field. So, it gives how much a field is spread outward, what is the divergence capacity of any field. So, it can be defined as the outward flux per unit volume. Mathematical expression of divergence can be expressed as this, where dV, which can also be written as del dot A, where A is the vector quantity. Remember, in the previous section we have applied del on a scalar quantity. However, here we have applied del on a vector quantity. Divergence of a scalar makes no sense. We always apply divergence on a vector quantity and it transforms a vector into scalar. As for example, we have taken a vector A in Cartesian coordinate, that is Ax, Ax, Ay, Ay, Az, Az. Now, if we want to find the divergence of this vector A, then we need to apply dot product of nobla or del operator. This operator is also known as vector differential operator, and this will be the total outward flux divided by total volume, or we can say that total outward flux per unit volume such that volume tends to 0 is known as divergence of that field. Again, as we are having 3 coordinates, so we need to define the divergence in all these 3 coordinates. So, first of all, for Cartesian coordinate whose parameters are x, y and z, we have defined divergence as del dot A, which after further processing will give del by Ax dx, del Ay by dy plus del Az by dz, where Ax is nothing but the coefficient of vector A in the direction of x. Similarly, Ay is the coefficient of vector A in the direction of y. Similarly, Az is the coefficient of vector A in the direction of z. Similarly, we can go for the cylindrical coordinate also. It can be defined as 1 by rho del by del rho, rho a rho 1. There is some alteration here, that we need to multiply rho. Rho is nothing but the radius. So, similarly, we can apply the divergence on cylindrical coordinate also, and for cylindrical coordinate we know that to define any point we need 3 parameters as rho, phi and z, where rho is nothing but the radius of the cylinder and phi is the azimuth angle, that is a angle between, if suppose this is our cylinder and this is x, y and z axis, x, y and z axis, then the radius from here to here. This one is the rho, and angle between positive x-axis and the radius is nothing but the phi. This is phi and this is rho. The height of the cylinder is denoted with the help of z. So with the help of these parameters we can define divergence in a cylindrical coordinate as 1 by rho d by d rho rho a rho plus 1 by rho d a phi d phi plus d a z by dz, where a rho is nothing but the coefficient of vector A in cylindrical coordinate. Similarly, a phi is the coefficient of vector A in cylindrical coordinate, and similarly az is the coefficient of A in the direction of z axis. Similarly, we can define the divergence in spherical coordinate also, and any point or vector in a spherical coordinate is defined with the help of three fundamental parameters, that is known as r, theta and phi, where r is the radius of sphere, theta is the polar angle and phi is the azimuthal angle, same as in cylindrical coordinate. Divergence gives how much that field are able to spread. Now we know that to find the divergence we need to know the total outward flux first, because the formula of divergence or mathematical expression of divergence can be defined as limit, this is the total flux per unit volume such that the volume tends to 0. So suppose this is a cube shaped structure, and inside this structure at some point P, if we need to find the divergence of any vector A, then we need to find first of all the outward flux cut by each surface. As we know that in this kind of configuration there are 6 surfaces, so we need to find the value of outward flux for each and every surface individually. Then further we can sum all those flux to find the total flux of vector A on this surface. As we know that this is a cube type structure which is having 6 surface, that is a front, back, left, right and top, bottom. So we have to find the outward flux for each and every surface, then we need to add and then we need to divide with total volume and take the limit. This is the mathematical way to find the divergence. Alternatively, simply in simple way we can find the divergence of any vector A at point P simply by multiplying by taking the dot product of A with del operator. Suppose if the structure will change, as for example here we can see other kind of structure, this is the cylindrical, and in cylinder we know that there are three surface mainly, that is a top surface, bottom surface and this is the curved surface. So we need to find the total outward flux for each surface and then we can sum up all the three surface flux due to all the three surface, which will give the total flux cutting through this cylinder, and after getting this total outward flux we can apply divergence formula to find total divergence. Now as we have already discussed that these are the operator which reveals some interesting point regarding fields. So here I want to conclude that if divergence of any quantity Suppose here we have taken A vector, so divergence of A, which can also be written as del dot A, will have a positive value. It means that the flux is diverging outward, like this. Field is diverging outward. If the value of this divergence is negative, it means that the flux or field is converging, like this, converging at that point P. It means the field diverges. Negative means field, if the value of this will be positive, it means field diverges. If the value of this is negative, it means the field converges at some point P. If the value is 0, it means that the field is parallel and don't converge, neither converge or nor diverge, means the field is parallel field. So this is all about the divergence. As name shows also, divergence means it tells how much a field diverges or converges. Similarly, now we will see, based on this we can see a theorem which is known as divergence theorem. Divergence theorem are basically used to convert a surface integral into volume integral. Surface integral is having two to do the surface integral, we need to integrate any quantity 2 times, that is because the surface is having two things, length and breadth. So we need to consider both the length and breadth, and to accomplish that we need to perform double integration. However, in volume integration, as volume is having length, breadth and height also, so we need to perform it in 3 times. And divergence theorem changes the surface integral into volume integral. Let us see its statement. It states that the total outward flux of a vector field A at the closed surface S is the same as the volume integral of divergence of A. Mathematically we can express as this. Now come to the curl of a vector. It is a third kind of operator. As name suggests, it gives the idea about the circulation of any field. Means any field, how much circulates can be found out through curl. The curl of a vector is an axial or rotational vector whose magnitude is nothing but the maximum circulation of A per unit area, such that it tends to 0, and whose direction is the normal direction of the area. Mathematically we can find the curl using this expression, where this is nothing but the circulation. So for any kind of configuration, first of all we need to find the circulation, then we can find the value of curl. As for example, for this kind of configuration there are 4 sides, so we need to consider the length of all the 4 sides one by one individually, and later we have to sum up all those to find the total circulation of this configuration. Once we will find the total circulation, we can find the value of a curl using this expression. Alternatively, we can find the value of a curl by simply doing the cross product of that vector with a del operator. Now here, if the field is uniform, it means that the curl is 0. Usually non-uniform fields are having some value. Again, for all the 3 coordinates, we can apply these formulas to find the curl. Based on this curl, we are having one theorem that is known as Stokes theorem. Main motto of this Stokes theorem is nothing but to change the line integral into surface integral. With the help of this Stokes theorem, we are going to change line integral into surface integral. To change any line integral into surface integral, we need to put the curl of that vector field, and then we can apply the surface integration. Final value will be same as we will do the line integration of that field on certain curve. Now this is the Laplacian of a scalar quantity, and this is the last. It maps a scalar into scalar and a vector into vector. Again, we are having 3 kind of coordinate system. So Laplacian has been described for all the 3 coordinate system, that is, this is for Cartesian coordinate, this is for cylindrical coordinate, and this is for the spherical coordinate. Laplacian is nothing but the double differentiation of any vector, and it gives about double differentiation is basically used for to find maxima and minima. So based on that concept only, it gives the property of any field, whether the field is concave or convex. So this is all about the vector calculus. We have learned about 4 kind of operators which are very important and reveals interesting property of various field. Based on this, we can find the property and characteristic of any field, whether that field is moving outward or converging, means diverges or converges, or whether the field is circulating, that means whether the field is rotational or irrotational, whether the field is harmonic or non-harmonic. All this concept or information will come with the help of these operators only. Thank you so much. Hope all of you will be fine and safe in this pandemic situation. Thank you so much. We will meet in the next lecture. Thank you.